There is a joint interview, Front Page Africa Spoon Fabric. My name is Gerald Koine. Along with my colleagues, we are with Presidential Aspirant Councillor Tiawan Gongloe. We will be talking about some important issues. Welcome to this interview, Councillor. You read the U.S. Ambassador to Liberia statement that he issued yesterday. What is your general assessment to the ambassador's statement?
Thank you very much for coming, gentlemen. The U.S. ambassador has done extremely well for Liberia. I want to congratulate him for going beyond the call of duty and going all over Liberia to expose the high degree of negligence that is being displayed by this government. Negligence of duty. It is the function of government to protect the Liberian people and to seek their welfare. But this government has been highly negligent. And I've been talking about the same thing that the ambassador talked about because I've been going all over the country. This is my first time in the presidential race, but I strongly believe you cannot solve a problem that you don't know. So I decided to go all over the country and see the conditions under which the people are living. And I experienced a condition of abject poverty. Look, the ambassador talked about poor health facilities. I know, for example, in Bapulu, the health facility that he was talking about, the newly built hospital, I went there to find out whether it's functioning. They told me we haven't opened it yet, even though the government has been boasting about it here. But what good is there when a building is standing up and it's not being used? They're still using the old building. Now, while that is happening, there is a contrast in the lifestyle of those who lead us at the highest echelon of government. During the tripartite time, about 3% of the people were enjoying the wealth of this country. Now, less than 1% of the people are enjoying the wealth of this country. And I'll give you examples. The ambassador talked about the health condition. I experienced bad road condition all over the country, whether it's Bois Chicken in Grand Cru, whether it's Philadelphia in Grand Cru, whether it is Yapatan in Riverses, or Bojeziatan in Riverses, or Honiahun in Lofa, or Pasegizia in Lofa, or Herentine in Bapulu, Supplementan in Bapulu, Nagbena in Cape Mount, all these places, or City Ken, the oldest gravel town in Maryland. All of these the people living in the places are living in abject poverty, or even Little Bassa. People are still, 90% of the people of this country are still drinking running water. They are still drinking from the streams. And in places where there were hand pumps built by the NGO, those hand pumps are broken down a long time ago. Government has done nothing to maintain them, thereby exposing the Liberian poor to all kinds of diseases. Look, and while that is happening, there are people in government who are making money. You can't believe it. United States, for example, United States Speaker, the salary of the Speaker of the Speaker of the U.S. Congress, the House of Representatives in the United States, makes $323,500 per annum. The Speaker of the House of Representatives in Liberia, the country that begs America for money, that borrows money from America, that is a recipient of all kinds of goodwill, aid from America, is making $245,540, more than the Speaker of the House of Representatives of the United States, this for me is scandalous. Again, the Speaker of the House of Representatives of Liberia is making $245,540, while the Speaker of the House of Representatives in the United States is making $223,500 per annum. That is, for me, scandalous. The President pro tem, who actually in America makes less than the Speaker, the President pro tem in the United States makes $193,400 per annum. That's what the President pro tem makes in the United States, less than the Speaker of the House of the United States. Because the Speaker of the House is the head of the legislature. In Liberia, it is different. Maybe because the Speaker of the House of Representatives comes from Maryland and the President pro tem comes from Grand Crew. But the point I want to make is that the President pro tem of the United States Senate makes $193,400 per annum. But the President pro tem of Liberia, the poor country that borrows from America, that cries to America for aid in our health services, education, road building, and everything, makes $254,250. More than $61,000 above what the President pro tem of the United States Senate makes. That for me is scandalous. These people are wicked because if the citizens of the United States see this salary disparity between their Speaker and Senate President pro tem on one side, and then the Speaker and President pro tem in Liberia on the other side, they will not allow their government to give us aid. This is just terrible. But this is what is happening all over. The few of them in government are enjoying so much while the people are suffering. Health sector bad, the education sector is bad. People are having volunteer teachers because the government cannot pay teachers in the interior. So towns are paying teachers for themselves. They call them volunteer teachers. These teachers are not people who want to teacher training. They don't have the skills. Nobody monitors them because they are volunteers. And that is for the children in school. Many of the children in Liberia are not in school because their parents don't have money. That's why I say when I become president, every Liberian child will go to school from kindergarten to 12th free of charge. Their copybooks, their pens, their textbooks, their food will all be paid by the government library. Okay, and I say we don't have money when people are making money like this. In 4 years, the Speaker, the President pro tem, earned more than $1 million in 4 years. More than $1 million. Even business people are not making money like that in Liberia. This is scandalous. The Speaker also makes, and probably made $1 million in 6 years, 5 to 6 years. Why the people are suffering. Look, it took me from on my outreach tour, I got to Kilipo Kanwike in Grand Crew, in River G in the southeastern part of Liberia. For a distance of 25 to 30 minutes when I traveled on it before, way by 1979, I had finished my work, my program in Kilipo Kanwike at 5 o'clock, and people are waiting for me in Gbepo Kanwike at 6 o'clock. I did not reach Gbepo Kanwike even though I left Kilipo Kanwike at 5 o'clock. I did not reach Gbepo Kanwike until 1 a.m. in the morning. Because between Gbepo Kanwike and Putuken, there was a huge mud, and we saw over 20 trucks trucks and tankers stuck in the mud. We couldn't pass. I had a terrible experience because when I rolled up I took off my shoes, rolled up my trousers and crossed the mud, waiting for my 3 cars to come. I just saw myself around 9 o'clock. I was feeling sleepy. I picked leaves and put them on the ground without intent to sleep. But I usually go to bed at 9 o'clock. By 9:30, I had passed out. I could have been bitten by a snake in the night on our highway. It was around 12:30 that the 3 cars crossed, and they woke me up. 12:30 a.m. in the morning. Counselor, the cars have finally crossed. I woke up, I thought I was in my bed, I was sleeping. But you see, the hazardous condition that I was exposed to, the risk I was exposed to because of that condition. Simply because our leaders don't go around as the ambassador did. It is my understanding, is unconfirmed, that the Speaker of the House of Representatives is on his way to Maryland, to Plibo-Sedican, but he's going through Ivory Coast. He passing through Nimba to get on the Ivorian paved. They are shameless. On the Ivorian paved road, in order to go to Taboo, get on a ferry, and get on a paved road that was done under President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to get to Plibo. Not experiencing the hardship that we and other Liberians are experiencing. This is terrible. I mean, that is a clear reason. If Liberian people, if there's no reason for which they should reject this government, we have room to sweep them out of power and to sue corruption from government. This is a clear reason that these people are really wicked. Look at the salary disparity. Until I talked to you, they know. I did the research and said, no, this is unbelievable. I did the research again and got the same result. That somebody in an official government in Liberia is making more than somebody holding the same office in America, the richest country on earth. It's scandalous. This people, their action is really unforgiving. So, get it? Let the Liberian people know that the Speaker of the House of Representatives in Liberia makes more than the Speaker of the House of Representatives in the United States. And the President pro tem of Liberia Senate makes more than the President pro tem of the U.S. Senate. More than that, President Weah, in the last 2023 budget, is getting $4.3 million, including $700 million for presidential outreach program. How he spends it?
700,000?
700,000 United States dollars. Yeah? And 4.3 million United States dollars. The salary is not known there. But we did research to find out, because in the Senate budget, they have office of the president pro tem, they have elected official. The only one elected official that will arrive at the salary. The speaker budget they have, and then this one for the elected official, and only in that office the only elected official is the speaker. This is shameful. It's disgraceful, really. And now they are increasing the hardship all over Liberia, especially in southeastern Liberia. Because last year, during the rainy season, Granadians were paying up to $40,000 per individual to get on a motorbike and get to Ganta. It's going to go up this year, and the people will catch more hard time. Why? Because the CDC and the government in power are dumping Liberian dollars on the market, which is really pay for play this election season. $9 million in each of the southeastern counties, $15 million for Nima Kande, and it's going all over. The Liberian dollars they are dumping is not being, paired with any US dollar we are receiving, because we are not exporting much to get US dollars. So there will be so much Liberian dollars on the market chasing few US dollars, which means the exchange rate will go up. In fact, yesterday when I was on 50-50, T-Max told me I had reached 168 already. Before the end of the week, it might reach 170. So by next week, prices will start going up because people want US dollar to import goods. They will jack up the prices and transfer the burden to us as consumers. When it comes to us, it's going to be difficult for the poorest among us. They will get poorer because, hey, those of us who are a little bit generous will not be generous again because life will be getting hard for all of us. And in southeastern Liberia, where they are paying so hard for as motorcycle fare between towns and going to the cities, life is going to be harder. Price of rice will go up, price of gasoline will go up, price of other essential commodities will go up. So that, you know, the importers can have the capacity to keep importing. So this government is multiplying poverty by bad rules and by pay for play as they are doing. You know, if you're, I don't care how strong you are, you make your farm in Sidiken or Boajiken or Belwan, and you have, say, a planting farm, and you harvest your planting, and you go and beg the Susu people in the town and say, give me money, credit me money, I will rent a truck to carry my truckload of planting to go by truck to sell. Next week I'll pay your money. And then you come to Puchuken and you can't cross to get to Kilipo Kanweken and come to Mon. And even if you cross Kilipo Kanweken, you come between Gwentown and Zaita in Grand Juda, you will not make it. And even you cross Zaita and you may not be able to reach the Sestos Bridge because between Tota and the Sestos River, you could find several areas that are all muddy. And then if you manage to cross and get to the Sestos River, between the Sestos River and Tapata, you will be getting mud. So that's the difficulty that people in the interior are living under. And the people in Monrovia who are leading us are not experiencing that. You see what the speaker is doing, finding the easy way out. Not everybody has money to pass through Ivory Coast. So you want to go to Sunday, you have to pass through Ivory Coast. You want to go to Maryland, Grand Crew. This is just wrong. And then they say they want us to give them second chance. That's why I usually say that Liberia is in the ICU, in the intensive care unit. And the people that are put in intensive care unit should not be given a chance to go. These people are wicked. The Liberian people have to get them out of power democratically.
Okay, Councillor, let's take you back to the ambassador's statement. He talked about most of the money that were allocated for these hospitals, the facilities, the service centers, they were not delivered. And there was no complaint of budget shortfall. And up to now, there has been no accountability for this money. What do you think can be done so that this money can be recovered?
The only thing for Liberian people to do is to vote this government out of power. Because you cannot ask a role to investigate himself. This theft is starting from the head of government. President Weah took our money and built for the 7-story buildings opposite the Baptist Seminary and has built more buildings. He has said before that he has built more roads than all of the presidents in Liberia combined from J.J. Roberts to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. That is a blatant lie. What the truth is that he has built more private buildings for himself in 5 years, more than all of the presidents of Liberia combined from J.J. Roberts to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. He has shown reckless disregard for the welfare of the people.
Okay, we're talking about the only solution to this problem because the ambassadors talk about how they are paying more of democracy, and you are saying the only solution is to voting out of power. So we are going to 2023, but people are calling for opposition unity. Who do you think is very suitable to lead the opposition to unseat President George Weah, because he's an equipping, that's everything?
I am. Look, over the years, I have shown my readiness to lead. I've shown my ability to sacrifice everything. There is no aspirant in a race who any Liberian can say stands for something and can predict. I can be predicted. For example, when President Sirleaf asked everyone to go on compulsory leave, a Liberian in Philadelphia said the one person I know will not go back is Councillor Gongloe. He predicted me correctly because you know what I stand for. I don't know what the other people stand for because Vice President Boakai is an establishment politician. He accepts everything that the system offers, complies with the system. That's what he has been over there. He never opposed the three-party government when we have virtual one-party state. I never heard his voice on the door during the military dictatorship. I never heard his voice on a Taylor. Although on a Taylor people like us speaking for journalists, I free Sanomo under at the Ministry of Justice in an underground jail. There were many journalists I free. I free Stanton Peabody, the late Stanton Peabody, several, the late Jim Situa. There is not a newspaper or radio station in this town that can say Councillor Gongloe never stood for me. I've always been there. And at the risk of my life, 2002, I was jailed. Not for doing anything to government, because I was defending Aloysius Stowe, who is now the Secretary General of the ANC. I was defending so many journalists. I was the lawyer when the Dukis could not be found and filed hypocrites against the government. Just so many things I was doing, you know, so that this country can work. Fighting for rule of law. And I could have been killed. You know, on the door, I was beating at the University of Liberia, August 22nd, in 1984, when the soldiers entered university and they said, those said, move or be removed. I was teaching on the university campus, but I was so young, they thought I was one of the students, I was beaten, so or maybe I was identified, severely beaten. So I was forced into exile under Taylor regime, but I can live here happily. Nothing stopped Cummings, who was in America, from speaking for Liberian people. In fact, there were Liberians in Nigeria and all these places. As much as they say, yeah, money, I didn't hear about him helping the Liberian refugees and all of that. Leadership is about people who are prepared to die, who are prepared to make sacrifices for the people. What do you think is making me go into Bakwai Town? I didn't even know it was George Weah's mother's home. Bakwai Town is a town across the Cestus River in River Cess, and it's way upstream. It's like Cestus City is like Brewerville, and Bakwai Town is like Carisburg, on the river upstream. I went there, and the old man asked me, "What made you brave to come here?" Everybody, all the officials of the government in River said, "Don't come here." The president himself had never come here. He said, "Do you know this, the home of the president's late mother, Annie?" He had never been here because there's no other way to go to Bakwai Town because there's no motor road except you get on that canoe and go upstream. And I rented a motorized canoe, the fishing boat, and that canoe, and we went up there 35 minutes on the river with speed. So imagine it was a roll canoe, it would take like 4 to 5 hours. And the woman asked me, "What made you brave to come?" I said, "Because I want to be president for those who live in Cestus City and those who live across the river. I want to be president for all Liberians." And I said, "There is no risk too big for me to take for Liberia. I have 2 seats that I'm loyal to, my conscience and my country. I don't compromise." So I'm different from those people. Our values must be the same. You see me talking about open governance where the president's salary will be known. No presidential contender is speaking about that. They still want to run this secrecy. I want the president's salary and benefit to be known. I'll put it on the internet. I'll put it in the newspaper. I'll be it will be in simple English. And I will do the same for all officials of the government, the 3 branches of the government. So that Liberian people can, for example, see this kind of salary and compare it to the salary of the lowest paid civil servant. When you look at the salary, the annual salary of the speaker and the president pro tem, each of them, you can take 5,000 civil servants, their salary per year will not reach this. So this is terrible. That's wickedness. You can take 5,000, maybe even 10,000 civil servants, nurses, doctors, police officers, teachers. Their annual salary will not reach the speaker annual salary or the president post salary, temporary salary. And then they are still begging America and other countries. These were wicked to us because this kind of thing will not make Europeans and Americans to help us.
Okay, Honorable, thank you. But it's reported that it's known in Liberia that you have the integrity, but politics is number based. Do you actually show that you have the number to win this election?
Number is generated. Darius Dillon won in the election, I think once or twice, and didn't get the number. When he started speaking, what the Liberian people wanted to hear, they follow him. He won big time and won twice. I don't agree with people that because of CPP that Darius Dillon won. They're not going to take that victory from Darius Dillon. I saw Darius Dillon in West Point. I went to West Point Court, Magisterial Court. Darius was moving from house to house. He worked hard. And President Saye was right in 2017 and said, anybody who wants to be president has to work as hard as I did in 2005. You got to work for it. And nobody has worked equal to me. I'm going to the people. Look, every time I go to, when I go to Princeton, they say, you are the second presidential aspirant to come here. Bronsky was the first in 2005. He didn't come 2011, 2017, but he came in 2005. I got to Boajiken, they say you are the first. I got to Norwoodtown, where I named Ganayi in Grand Bassa, they say you are the first. I went to Tucson, they say, oh, except Georgia, come here 2005, you are the first to come here. Putu Tiawan Town in Grand Jide, in Duake, River G, I was told I was the first ever to go there. In Nagbena, in Kipma, I was told I was the first to go there. In Ba, in Harristown, Bapolo, I was told I was the first to go there. Supermarket, Bapolo, I was told. In Benikoli, in Bonkane, I was told I was the first to go there. Same thing with Bonota. And the town I slept in Bonkane, Fokole, they say I was the first to go there. So I'm going to all of these places, Kino, in Nimba, Zwale, Zwale, the home of Thomas Kuma. But that's the other thing. I chose towns that produced heroes before, but don't exist and believe that people have abandoned them. I elevated the sense of belongingness. I went to Zozwale, the late General Kungwa's town. I slept there. I've been to Glole twice. Glole is what I consider the political shrine of Nimba. It is the home of the late Jackson Hebdo. That's where the first son of Nimba came from and ran to become president. It is an important historical town in Nimba. And they feel abandoned. I went there. I slept in Tucson. That is part of an effort for reconciliation and national unity. A man from Nimba going to Tucson and sleeping in Tucson. The people were so happy that I agreed to sleep there that they danced the whole night. They cooked food and my delegation ate and food left over. I went to Pinestown in Sino. That's the home of the late Thomas Wessian, General Thomas Wessian. He was the vice head of state when the 17 people took over. I intend, while in Monserrato, to go to the settlement, to go to Bensonville, to go to Clashland, the home of Coma, to go to all these areas so that everybody feel a sense of belongingness. A leader has to recognize everyone, and to make everyone feel important. All Liberians are equal in my sight, and I'm going to give them equal attention. No aspiring in race is doing that. Perhaps because I didn't participate in 2017 election, maybe Bwaka feed that votes are stuck in the freezer somewhere. Communist feed that votes are stuck in the freezer somewhere. But I know that the human mind don't operate like that. People are moving, they are changing, and I believe, for what I say and based on my track record, I resigned in 5 years from the government that Bwaka served for 12 years. His argument that he was a parked car in the garage is only valid for the first term. It's not valid for the second term. Because the second term, he chose to be parked because he campaigned for Ellen to go second term, and he was on a ticket. So he can't complain the second term. I'm not like that. I'm different. I know how to say no. And also, This job is not a retirement job. Companies, they're not sacrificed. I would have had great respect for companies and say, I got 5 more years to retire from a job that is paying me so well. But for the love of Liberia, I resigned to come and participate in the election. He didn't give anything. I can challenge anyone. Cummings has no history of sacrificing anything for Liberia. Our presidency is not a retirement job. I know it is a hard job. It's a 24/7 job because I worked with Dr. Sawyer as executive assistant for 4 years, and I know we used to be up 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock when people are sleeping. That's why we used to outmaneuver Taylor when we go to ECOWAS or any international conference. We already have done our homework. So it is a job that requires people to be up and hard working. You spend sleepless nights. You have 20 speeches to give. You have to be writing those speeches. Even if people write them for you, you have to be looking over them. You saw Obama on the night of the killing of bin Laden. Obama remained up until that operation was over. Up to 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning when everybody else in America was sleeping. That is a job that requires strength and intellect. And so, physically, I'm strong. I'm in my 60s, but I'm an exercise coach. I do 80 push-ups every morning. So I'm physically fit and mentally awake and ready for the job. And I have the discipline that to be an economist, you need an economist to be a president. That's a good field. When a lawyer is president, like America is doing now, Clinton, Obama, Joe Biden, all lawyers, that's good. All those 2 professions are in me. I did economics at University of Liberia. I taught economics for 8 years, including I taught people like Samuka, so many powerful people in Liberia, Justice Janet, Justice Kappa. I taught them economics. In fact, Justice Kappa and myself call each other real value, market value, real value. And then I've taught law. Not only have I been lawyer for 35 years, I've been Solicitor General, head of the prosecution department, and transformed me. I was the first Solicitor General, first official of the Justice Ministry to transform prosecution. Before I got there, all the candidates doing except the one in Monrovia were not lawyers. Some of them were not even high school graduates. I changed that. Today, only law school graduates are county attorneys all over the country. I did that change. I'm ready for the job. And I believe in liberalization, as I did. That's why at Labor Ministry, I increased the work permit fee from $400 to $1,000. And because of that, many employers reduce their foreign employees and employ more Liberians. So when I become president, I will create millionaires outside government and not in government as happening because I will make government to purchase from Liberians. For example, I would say on first day in office, except the foreign-made furniture in office, you have to buy all the government ministry and agency furniture from our Liberian carpenters. That will create jobs. That's what I intended. That's what people do in the country. When I want to give contract, I would prefer Liberians before anybody else, so that Liberians can feel proud of the country. I want to make this country to change Liberia's story from being a poor country because we are not naturally poor. This is a naturally rich country, rich soil with diamond, gold, iron ore, uranium, everything under it. The only thing we lack for this country to be a sweet land of liberty for everyone is good leadership. And that is why I'm committed to bring to Liberia. Thank you very much.
Thank you.